Hello everyone, welcome back to my SDL2 on Xcode series. In this tutorial project, we are going to build the classic snake game on Xcode using C and SDL2. This is episode 8. In our previous episode, we successfully built a menu scene as I show here that we have a green background and a play button here that will respond to a click. Now, in this episode, we are going to learn how to design or how to use some tools to make a better background. And in the next episode, we are going to learn how to write code to load our designed background. Now, let me show you the product first. We are going to use an app called Tiled, and then we are going to design a background look something like this. And if we successfully load it into our project, it would be something like this. Let me just copy the code, and then let me show you the end result. So we will have something like this going on. You can see that our design here will eventually comes to our game project here. And we are going to learn in this episode how to design the background, and then next episode how to load this background into our game next time. So let me now go to the tiled editor here. This is a map editor that is free online, and you can download it on the webpage mapeditor.org. You can download it on the webpage here. Now let's go back to the tile editor here. You can see that on the right hand side here, you will have the layers manager. You can see that we have 4 layers here for our background here. If I only show you the background, you will see only some glasses showing snake in here. And the second layer, the boundary, is only a layer that has some decoration around the boundary. You can see that there's some greenish stuff here. And for the snake layer, we draw a snake. And finally, for the label layer, we have a box to indicate where I should put the play label. And if I put all these layers together, that would be our end result. So that is what we are going to learn to make today. So let me close this one, and we're going to start a new project. Let me close this one, close all. Now we're going to, if you open up the tile, you will have a screen look like this. And you are going to set a new map. For this one, we're going to have the width to be 16 and the height to be 9. Remember that last time when we draw the background, we say we will have 16 columns and 9 rows, and that will reflect in here. And remember that the width and the height is 40. You can see that the end result will be 640 cross 360. And then the orthogonal is correct. We're going to use CSV, and then we're going to use write down. And then we are going to click Save As. Now I'm going to save it in a different location. I'm going to save it in, let's go to Document. And here I have make another folder dedicated to this episode. So let me say I'm going to save it here. And I'm going to call it as, say, menu. For the format, I'm going to save as a JSON files, and then click Save. So that will give us an empty project to start with. Now, certainly we need some tiles to start with, or otherwise we don't know what should we put here, right? And to include the new tile set, we just click a button here, or you can go to, I believe, File, New tile set. So let me click here. First of all, we are going to include the glasses. So let me browse and then goes to the tutorial here, access and glass. And then I open it. And for this one, the tile width and the height will be 40 and there's no margin and spacing. So that would be good. And we don't want to embed into our map because our map should be only the contain only the information what kind of things we should draw. We are not going to need this. And then save. So again, we are going to save it into our tile set, and again we're going to set it to be JSON, and then save. So that will have our glass JSON file, and you can see that we now have each individual tile. Now let's go back to our menu. Now you can see that we have our tile sets to you. Before I use it, I'm going to change the name of the this layer to background. Let me call it background. And then first of all, let me fill the whole thing with this greenish tile. To do so, I'm going to select this tile here, and then click the fill tool here, and then I will just click this, and then you can see I have all the tile set to this greenish tile. Now we can add more details to this background. For example, instead of doing these writing the snake in here, I'm going to do other stuff. Now I'm not going to use the fill tool anymore. I'm going to change it to the stem brush, and then I will choose for example this one, and then I can just stamp it anywhere I want. So that is across using the this tiles. I can also do some drawing using other things. For example, let me say draw H here, or I can draw whatever I like. So for example, let me say just draw something here, and that will be our background. Okay. Now, of course, this is not the same as the end result I showed you. I figured that drawing the letter here might take a while. Let me at least draw an S for you. So, for example, if I don't want this anymore, I can just erase this tile like this, and then maybe I can just use another tile to stamp over the original tile that will cover that as well. So let's say I would like to draw S. So it's quite simple. You just stamp the correct position, then that will show you a letter S. And to draw another letter, you just continue and then doing this kind of drawing. It seems that it's not that hard for me to draw the letters. So let me draw the letter in D. So let me just make this to the default background. And then the next letter should be A. So that would be our A. K is like this, here and here. And the final letter is E. So that is our E. So we get our word snake using this glass tile set. Next, we were going to have some decoration on the side. If you now try to do this decoration using the tiles directly on this, you will see that the whole background will change because this tile has only a tiny little bit on top, and the rest will be empty, so it won't look nice. In order to draw the decoration, And we are going to draw another layers. So we are going to create a layer. So we're going to layer, new, and then tile layer. On this, I say, let's say boundary. And then on this boundary, we're going to draw our, say, boundary here. We can put stop here. We can put stop here as well. We can put boundary anywhere that we like to have. So here, I can do it here, something like this. So we have a little bit of decoration here. Next, we would like to draw our snake. To draw our snake, we are going to include more tile set because for now we already have our the glasses. So to include the new tile set, I'm going to go to File, New, and then New Tile Set. In this case, the tile set is actually a collection of images. And here I'm going to call it snakes or snake. And then I'm going to save it to snake in here. Now I'm going to add tiles to it. So I click the Add button here. Let me show you again. The Add button is in here. Click it. And then we go to the, I think here snake, and then choose all of them, and then open. And that will give us a tile set of snakes. So let's go back to menu, and then you can see that here now there was a new tab here called snakes. And that will give you the tile set for the snake. Now, we should not draw directly on it because that won't look nice. So we're going to create a new layer called snake, and then we'll draw the snake on that layer. So let me create a new layer called snake. So I think I have an apple here, and then now we can just draw the snake as we want. For this one, I'm going to draw a rather simple one. So I am going to go to, I should use, is that this one? No. Which one should I use? This one. And then go down. And then go down. And then go right, like this, and then go right. So let me say I just want to make a simple snake like this one. For the final one, let me just give a tail here. So let me just draw a snake like this. I know it's not good looking, but it is a snake. Say next, once you have our snake, you can actually look at only the snake in this background, and you can include the background layer to see the result, and also you can make this visible as well, so you can see the end result by far. Next, we are going to also have a box to indicate where we should put our play label. Now, to do so, I'm going to create a new layer called the object layer. It is only in this layer that I can put some box in it. So let me call it label. And then I'm going to make the snake, let me make it visible. And say we're going to add a box. And then the box I'm going to choose is this insert rectangle tool. So I'm going to insert it here. So I say our play label should be around here. We can actually adjust the width and the height here. Say, to be more precise, I would like to be 160 long. And for the height, let me say I would like to be 60 height. And for the position, I can also adjust it using this thing here, this here. For example, I can do 240. Let's see where it is. Look okay. And for this one, 180 might be nice enough here. So we can also put a name for it. Let's call it play. That means our play button will be placed here. And that is basically the end result of our design. And that's how you design the background using this tool called Tiled. If you go to the Tile tutorial, and then look at the end result, you can see 3 JSON files. And this glass JSON and this snake JSON are 2 JSON files define the tile set here that we use. And the only thing that we care about is actually the menu.json. If you open it up, so let me open it, you will see that there was a lot of data here that represent the design we just made. You can see that for each layer, it is inside something called layers, and you have a name for the corresponding name for the layer. And this number here is the texture ID from our embedded texture. The embedded texture is here. You can see here that we have 2 tile sets. The first one is glass.json, and the first GID is 1. That means anything that starts with 1 should be, for example, 1 here should be a texture in this glass.json file. And by the way, 0 means nothing there, nothing occupied in that position. Now, for another tile set, the first GID is 9, meaning that any ID that is bigger than or equal 9 should come from this snake JSON. For example, if you look at this ID here, which is 15, which means this should comes from the snake JSON file instead of the glass JSON file, and that's how we are going to structure this JSON, and we're going to, based on this structure, lay out our code. So that is our design using the tile. And when we come back next time in episode 9, we're going to see how we are going to actually load up this JSON file as our background. Thank you for watching.